Hey everyone, welcome. Today we're diving into a pretty provocative idea from our source material, the concept of a silent war happening right under our noses in schools and workplaces, and even wilder, a plan to fight back using AI. Let's get into it.
Wow. Okay, so right out of the gate, the source material hits us with this. The real Third World War is a silent one. I mean, that's a heavy statement, right? It's not talking about tanks and soldiers, but something happening every day, driven by profit and control. It basically paints our schools and workplaces as, well, as battlegrounds. So what on earth does that actually mean?
Okay, so let's unpack this idea of a silent Third World War. Like I said, this isn't about traditional warfare. According to the source, this is a conflict happening much, much closer to home. The term the source uses is systemic war. And what that means is it's a fight, but not with weapons. It's a struggle against the systems themselves, the institutions we're part of every single day. The core idea here is that these places, schools, companies, they're often built for profit and control first, and our own well-being or growth second. It creates this constant struggle, the individual versus the institution. And to make this clearer, the source draws this really stark comparison. So in a conventional war, you have soldiers, weapons, and battlefields, right? Well, in this systemic war, the soldiers are us, students and employees. The weapons aren't guns, they're things like performance reviews, grading curves, all these systems of ranking and control. And the battlefields? Yeah, there are schools and our offices. It's a pretty intense way to reframe these places we spend so much of our lives. So let's zero in on these so-called battlegrounds. What's actually going wrong in our schools and workplaces, according to the source, that makes this war metaphor feel, well, appropriate to them? Okay, so this is really the heart of the issue right here. The source lists out these core problems. We're talking about a culture where profit gets put way ahead of integrity. It's about how that can create these really toxic work environments, right? And the exploitation of innocent employees, these unfair ranking systems that just seem to help the people already at the top, and even the misuse of power when it comes to things like gender dynamics. According to the source, these are the things that are fueling this silent war. And what's really interesting is that the source material actually puts a date on this, or at least a starting point. It suggests this whole struggle really ramped up around 1947, which, you'll note, is the year of India's independence. The implication here is that the very foundations of these institutions, the post-colonial structures, might have had these problems baked in from the very beginning. So we're talking about deep historical roots. And all of this really boils down to a pretty big question. One that I'm sure has crossed your mind before. Think about it. Are all these grading systems, these performance rankings, are they actually fair? Or are they just set up to reinforce the status quo, to help the people who are already ahead stay ahead? Okay, so we've laid out the problem, this picture of pain and broken systems. But now the story takes a huge turn. We pivot from the problem to, well, a solution that sounds like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie. See, according to the source, this isn't just some abstract idea. It's deeply personal. It's about a brilliant creator who feels that they and their partner have been personally harmed by these very systems. And so, they decide to fight back, but not with protests or lawsuits. Their weapon is technology. They're going to build an intelligent humanoid AI. And this isn't just a vague idea, there's a whole plan. Step 1, identify the culprits. Pinpoint the exact people who profited from exploiting others. Step 2, build the tool. Design a super advanced humanoid AI. Step 3 is where it gets really wild. Integrate biological components, something the source calls biointelligence, to make the AI even smarter. And then, the final step, unleash it. Deploy this AI to go confront the wrongdoers and expose everything they did. It's like a plan for high-tech justice. So, when you put it all together, this idea of a silent war and this super high-tech response, it naturally leads us to some really big philosophical questions about what our future might look like. When you strip it all down, the core idea is pretty simple, but powerful. It's this: when people feel like their institutions have failed them, their schools, their jobs, that failure can trigger some truly radical innovation. This story is about technology becoming more than just a convenience. It's about it being used as a weapon for accountability, a way to challenge the powers that be. And that's really the big question this whole thing leaves us with, isn't it? If our systems fail us, is this where we turn? Is technology our last resort for justice? Is the future one where we build AI to fight our battles for us when we feel we can't get a fair shake? It's a pretty wild thought to chew on. Thanks for joining me for this one.